As we start talking about physical properties of solutions, what we really want to do is start to consider the nature of the solution and start to expand on them and the factors that determine whether a solution will form and what properties it actually has. So what we're going to start today is we are going to look at homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures and make a few comparisons and contrast them. So there are two types of homogeneous mixtures. And whenever we talk about a homogeneous mixture, remember that this means that our sample should be uniform. So if you were to consider that we have a sample over here, if we were to isolate this area of the sample and this area and this area, if we tested them, they should all be the same. No matter where we take this sample from, they should all be uniform. So whenever we start to classify things, we're going to start to get more specific. We may call it a solution or we may call it a colloid. But for both of these are homogeneous mixtures. The solutions have smaller particle diameters, but they tend to be transparent. Whenever we say it's transparent, they could still have a shade of color with them. So if you have a solution that's yellow, it just means that it will appear to be yellow, but it's transparent in nature. You should more or less be able to see through it. Whereas with a colloid, we think about that as being more of like milk or fog. And if you were to shine a light on a colloid, due to the larger diameters of the particles, it's more opaque to light. And this means that if you shine a light on it, it seems more hazy. So let's go on to heterogeneous mixtures. So an example of this would be is if we were to consider something like milk that starts out as a colloid, and then as the chemical reaction starts to proceed, this could start to spoil. And as it starts to spoil, you no longer have a homogeneous mixture. So now we're actually looking at a heterogeneous mixture. And so a heterogeneous mixture is what we would call a suspension. And this is whenever you have larger particles, and they can usually be observed with low power microscopes. And these will separate out. So you could think about aerosol sprays, like a can of spray paint, or even blood, that if you give it enough time, it will start to separate out. So this is the types of different mixtures that we will be discussing this unit. What we're really going to focus on, though, as we proceed, is we're really going to focus on the solutions right here.